Good evening. We are still in the evening. I believe it's been roughly an hour since I posted the last video. And I got something here. Again, it's just an idea that I'm going to start with. The idea is, probably like maybe not the particular, but the style of the idea you might like. How involved should one be? Now that's the thing that came in my head. Well, if I'm in society, I have a presence. I'm part of society. As a member of society, as a member of an organization, as a member of whatnot. How involved should I be? Right? What should I be involved in, and how involved should I be in it? Okay. So I think about it and I go, well, I should start with what I know. All right. First of all, in order to do that, I have to reflect on myself and know who I am and what kind of things I do or whatnot. I put a bit of camaraderie or as a member of the Saiyan Disciples, which I have the graffiti on the white with the Star of Satan or the 5-point star. I've always said I do have that affiliation, or I would say even membership with the Maniac Latin Disciples. Key thing being Maniac, Latin, and Disciples, so all three kind of works in my favor. And as you know, that there is another disciple group that's Gangster Disciples, and then there is other organizations which are within. It's called Folk Nation. Now these three are in Folk Nation, and all three of them have the disciple at the end, the D, which makes me feel like I'm not there to just be a gangbanger. You know what I mean? Disciple is one who is dedicated, disciplined, who studies and becomes better, and that's what I'm all about. That is what I'm about. I mean, life to me is being a disciple. You know what I mean? Even in so many different senses. You know, since I was younger, I always wanted to disciple. I was constantly jumping from level 1 to level 1 to level 1 in a different thing every time. Now advancing. I feel good about everything. I feel like I've put in all the necessary work that I could. The rest is just basically just playing it, right? It's like me preparing for a baseball season or for a it's like me preparing for baseball season, and I've done all the necessary work and I've checked out and I'm on the team. I am there. I am a member, and season's about to start, and I've done all my training, all the practices, everything I got to do, and I've been checked off. My skills are up to par. I'm good enough to be in there, and to stay in there, and that's all she wrote. Now it's time to start baseball season. All right, so I talked about what is my involvement? Well, I would say that day that so here's a very interesting fact about me. I used to be very anti-cash. I was very anti-money. You know, when I was really young, and I mean like 7 or 8 years old, I used to say that, you know, if I had money, what would I do with it? If I had money every day, I would eat from a different restaurant. I would eat Burger King. I would eat fried chicken. I would eat pizza and all that. And every day I would have some kind of fast food. I would like to have enough money to buy as much food as I can. I like good food that I like, you know, and never like always going to a different place and having food from a restaurant every day. That's what I wanted to do when I was a little kid, you know. That's a cool thing, you know what I mean? To do something like that as a kid. But I was very anti-money. Even when I got older, I used to always talk about how you should never lose friendships are more important, or integrity is more important than money. Your person is better than money. Because I was taught a lot of basic values that were basically even not being taught to other people, but because I was a good recipient when it comes to values and you should do this and you should do that, because I was such a great recipient, um, I really took these values in. You know what I mean? A career was not supposed to be about making money. A career was supposed to be about having a purpose where I could really help the community and I could gain like accolades and be respected. You know what I mean? And that would be, for example, a scientist, right? A philosopher. What was I thinking? A judge. You know what I mean? Something real where I was making a real difference and I was actually doing stuff and people were looking at me like, you know, what a great member of society. What a great person this individual is. What a great man this individual is. That was how I looked at it. You know, once I finished school and went to college for a little while, I really just, I flipped. Everything just changed on me. I was like, dude, you know what, man? That was cool when I was in elementary and middle school and high school. That's not cool now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna go anywhere with this shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's not. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. I don't want it. You see, as a child, your mentality is different in every way. You know, just when you're a child, you are basically a nicer version. Even they say there's mean kids and bad kids. They're not as bad as when they grow up. You know, typically, children are very nice and open to things, and they will have ideal concepts of the world and what should be done, and these big dreams and everything. So that was okay, but as an adult, it just didn't fit. Didn't make any sense to me. You know, I was like, dude, this is not how I want to live, and this is not the person that I want to be. You know, it wasn't until I reached about 15, 16, I'd say about around 15, 16 years old, or that time, between 15 and that, like, turning 16, that I started questioning things. I started questioning religion, thinking, dude, this religion doesn't make any sense. Where is the proof of anything? Now, God, I didn't have I didn't have an issue with God because I went to a world religions class a few times, and the teacher himself said that he was agnostic, which was like atheist, but he believed that there was some higher force out there. He just didn't believe in any organized religion, and that made sense to me, and I thought that made quite some sense. But anyways, when I got old, 18, 19, 20, 21, it was just like, forget all that shit. You know, life should be about making a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like now, that started in high school, by the way. Around 10th grade, they started giving us the option, or 9th grade, I think. They started giving us the option of choosing electives. And all my electives were business. Everything was business related. And my idea was to go to university for business so that I could learn how to make a lot of money, be very successful, blah, 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 blah. Though none of it made sense to me. The only thing that made sense to me was gym class, because I actually felt good doing it. I didn't feel good sitting in class. I felt good doing gym class. It's something that made me feel good to move around and whatnot. Physically, I found it more useful than the academic classes. But anyway, let's get to the point. All right. The point is, what am I gonna do in society? Well, after robbing a bank and getting my first taste of an earn, which was about, I don't know, like $1,000 in cash, cold hard cash, $1,000 in cold hard cash. And having that, you know what I mean, taking that and walking out with it, it did kind of change me and the way that I looked at money and how I thought about money. You know, over time, I started developing style. As you can see, this is not a bad style. So I started developing style and whatnot, which is cool. And I've talked about everything else, but let's get back to the point. So how would I become, and what kind of things can I do to be active in society? Well, I've explained about who I am, and I like cash. And there's a reason I chose to talk about this, because I feel like I could be a good earner, right? I feel like I could be talented or even not gifted. I could be talented or skilled enough in any industry to make a lot of money. I think I talked about how I my first time getting a stock, I got a stock where I could have made $300,000. Unfortunately, there's a lot of funny business that goes on in the stocks. I would never do it again. I've tried gambling once on sports. I don't believe in gambling and sport betting, they call that. I don't believe in that, and I don't believe in stocks. But I chose the right stock, and my plan was right. I would have made $300,000 just sitting there in a year and a half, 2 years. No, sorry, in 2 to 2.5 years of just not even working or anything, just having that sit there. I would have had at least minimum $300,000 paid out to me after taxes and everything. So, or should be the case. Anyways, more or less, I do like the idea of number one, making money, right? I should say number one, but there's two things. One is about making money. One is about making money. Money is a big thing. There's three things. Sorry. One is about making money, which is a big thing, which I think I would be very good at, and which gives me a lot of value in the world, because in the world, let's face it, money makers is a big thing. Money making is a big. If you're really a money maker, people will literally join your company and want to be around you simply because of that. Although you don't want those people particularly like that to be around you. However, making money is one. It was a number two is how I've talked about myself, how I have a bone here, a bone here. I got bones here. I got a skull here. I got collarbones. I got spinal vertebrae. I've got the knees and everything and all that, feet and ankles and all that. So I talked about that. If anybody remembers, the idea behind that was that who I am as a person, like I got a different type of person here, but they're all me, right? Self-made, knows how to come up himself, knows how to get respect, has that pride. He can take care of himself. He's independent. He can make money. He can manage family relationships and having a family. He's like a real actual family and having family relationships. He can even be in a big group like a posse or an entourage. He can have friends in his life that are not losers. He can associate with where he's actually from. For example, Romania and being Latin, he can draw from that and be that, right? Like all these things, I believe, embody me and are parts of me. So I talked about how I had a monopoly on that, right? Number three, which is the last thing, is what I just talked about. All that stuff. Families coming up like that, organization, being an organization, having cliques and groups that I'm part of, outside of organization, having contacts all over the world in different organizations, in different places, different industries and whatnot, having business associations, business relationships, having like extension to those or after those business relationships to have affiliations, to be kind of to have some kind of real life stuff going on, not being alone, but doing stuff with people in things or with other individuals and other groups that the things that I've already dabbled in my life and that I embody and I want to be part of. So all these communities and all that stuff, all those things that I mentioned, that's like, so these three make it up. I'm not gonna number them. There's money, there's who I am, which is all about being self-made, being strong, being a survivor, thriving, being making myself, making your way, becoming that guy, self-made, takes care of all his business, is the man. That's one of them. I'm not gonna number them. And the other thing was the actual relationships, like the connections and that all I mentioned, having family relationships, friends relationships, everything, business and all that stuff, and being involved in, being who I am and having some kind of connections within those worlds as well. I think I said it perfectly. This does not require any more speech, and I will say good evening again. Have a good evening, and I will post this up.